The good bacteria. Nature gave man land that was covered with green forests, air that was pure and refreshing, and water sources that were clean and sparkling. But man in his greed has polluted all these. He has polluted the land with sewage, garbage, and industrial waste. He has polluted the air with toxic fumes. And he has treated the world's rivers and oceans as dustbins. Millions of tons of rubbish are dumped into the world's rivers and oceans every year, harming marine life. If too much sewage is poured into seas and rivers, their water can no longer dilute it. All the oxygen in the water is used up, and the fish begin to die. Now, what can be done about all the garbage and other toxic substances being dumped into our lakes and rivers? Fortunately, people are now becoming increasingly aware of the dangers of environmental pollution. In many places, industries are being directed by governments to stop poisoning the environment. Scientists too are working on ways to clean up the mess. And it is costing millions and millions. However, we can take the help of bacteria to solve the problem of pollution without having to spend too much on it. Most of us think of bacteria as harmful, disease-causing, invisible creatures. But actually, only a few species of bacteria are dangerous. The majority of bacteria are quite good and helpful. Without these bacteria, life on Earth would be impossible. Bacteria help degrade dead animals and plants. Thus, they bring valuable nutrients back to the Earth. Some species of bacteria help clean up harmful pollutants out of the environment. They do this by a process called bioremediation. Traditional techniques for determining and locating toxic waste are very expensive. In contrast, bacteria are cheap and accurate sensors of toxic chemicals. Bacteria are the most numerous organisms in the soil. They are a necessary part of the cycle by which carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus are recycled back into the environment. Without this cycle, there would be no life on this earth. Toxic substances discharged by factories pose serious environmental and health risks. They enter soil, air and water and pollute them. They don't break down easily by natural processes. Scientists have developed a process which is known as the process of bioremediation. By this process, the good bacteria are used to digest toxic substances and convert them into less harmful elements. Let's take the example of dyes that are part of the liquid waste from textile factories. The color in the dyes filters out the sunlight from the water. It acts like a pair of sunglasses. As a result, all the plants and animals in the affected rivers don't get the normal amount of sunlight and die very soon. Scientists have gone back to nature in their search for a solution. They seem to have found the solution in helpful bacteria. Tests have shown that a bacterium which is found around the outflow pipes at some factories eats dye. In order to get the food it needs, it breaks down the dye into the elements it is made of, that is, nitrogen, carbon, etc. One of the main tasks then facing the scientist is to produce enough bacteria in the right place to treat the waste effectively. If the bacteria are just left in the river, They are washed away with the flow of water and have no remedial value. The solution that the scientists have come up with is to put the bacteria on plastic balls. These balls can be then strung together like beads and kept in a particular part of the river, which becomes a feeding ground for the bacteria. Perhaps in course of time, it will be possible to find bacteria with a good appetite for cleaning up other pollutants apart from dyes. But the best solution perhaps is to be more careful about the pollution we produce and the problems we create for nature. Otherwise, a day will come when nature won't have any appetite for us.